Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here, and today we're going to be looking at FatalZone. I have been very bullish about auto-firing, auto-aiming, vampire survivor type games. I've kind of put that genre on the shelf and said I was done with it. But somebody sent me this as a gift, so I thought I could at least play it. And honestly, this sort of restored my faith in the genre a little bit, and let's talk about why. So your base of operations has all these major buildings, a gate, the recruitment center, headquarters, etc. Each one of these can be upgraded over time, and some of the buildings require other buildings to be upgraded first. Usually the HQ has to be upgraded before anything else is upgraded. But the HQ is what controls all of your weapon acquisitions, right? So all of these have some sort of a different challenge for you to do, and when you do that challenge, you'll unlock that weapon, and it shows up in your random pulls while you're actually playing the game. So this gives you something to shoot for constantly. The recruitment center dictates who you can recruit, and so there are tons of different recruits. There's tons of different basically genres of players: brawlers, survivors, tanks, etc. They each come with different weaponry and different stats, right? So I've got a brawler here, but my brawler has an SMG in the Mercury armor. This one has a katana in the Fox armor. So there's a whole bunch of variables in terms of why you might want to recruit different characters of different types. And again, there's all sorts of bonuses that can be attached to these people. This one has toxin protection, blah, blah, blah. You could go on and on about these recruits, but as you upgrade, you'll be able to get more and more of them, and you can always refresh them by paying 50 coins, of which I don't have too many right now. But if you refresh them, you get a whole nother stream of possible recruits. I'm currently maxed out at 7 recruits. As you can see, this is Beth is a brawler here. And so, for example, brawlers, veterans, each one of them have their own little sort of specialty, but you'll need these as you unlock these other items, right? You have to be a tank to unlock the grenade drone, for example. So as you can see over here, I maxed out 7 of 7, as I mentioned. And as we go through these, let's take a look at these mercs a little bit closer. So each one has stats that you're constantly building on, how many kills, your raid times, extra things, and something called mutations, which we're going to touch on a little bit more in a moment. Each has a weapon and armor skill. Right now I'm 5 and 5 because he's maximum upgraded here. You can see right here on the quick chart, 5 and 5. So that's my lead. That's my very first character, and I've built them up. Now, if you go to the infirmary, you can see after the last raid, Shelby here had some penalties, got some damage there. HP is now down, so is my physical damage, so I can send them to heal. Once I click heal, that character's locked out for a period of time. So if I were to go to the gate and try to go out and go on a raid, no can do, right? That merc is being treated. So you got to be careful about who you heal and when. No big deal. As you can see here, I've got mutations here. Mutations are things that you get just being out in the wasteland. There are good mutations, which are green, and there's bad mutations, of which I've already cleared all of mine off. But should you get a red mutation, you can then heal it by spending coins and letting your merc sit in the back to tank forever. So that's sort of how that works. You got to keep your guys healthy and strong. The workshop, of course, is where you upgrade your weapon and armor level. You can see here that most of my guys are maxed out because I don't have a workshop level 6 yet. And to upgrade it, of course, I need a headquarters level 6. And, of course, I can't do a headquarters level 6 because I don't have enough stuff. You'll gather all of these different items while you're out on the raid. Now, it may look like these might turn into IAPs, right? Anytime you see more than one currency, you start thinking, there's going to be a cash grab around here somewhere. But so far, no. You can gain all of these while you're out in the field. Now, you can see here, I don't have this armor upgraded to level 5 yet, so I can pay some coin and go ahead and have that leveled up. And that will help obviously, you can see how the stats are boosted. They don't keep anything hidden. If you're a stats freak, you're going to like this a lot. I do. But I'm usually not a stats freak, but as long as it's kept in check. So you get skill points as you level up. And these skill points, of course, can be added to a skill tree. And you can essentially have one skill per branch, per rank, right? So rank 1 is already there. Rank 2, I've already got something assigned. And you'll wonder, like, why, if you have one skill and you click this and then hit pump up, why you didn't use the skill point. Well, it's because you've already used a skill point in that tree level, that branch, I guess, and you can only have one. So you buy a skill point per rank. A little bit confusing there. I know it took me a few minutes to figure that out, but there you go. That's how that works. So you always want to keep an eye on your skill points. Now you see nobody else has any skill points to use. Again, it depends on who you use, how often you use them, and how long you use them, honestly. So yeah, pretty neat stuff. I mean, it's pretty deep. I mean, this is a lot deeper of a more RPG style than most of the Vampire Survivor stuff. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. So there's two, if you go to the gate, there's two different areas currently that I have unlocked, and I need to unlock level 3, which of course requires headquarters, level 3, and I need all the stuff, which I don't have enough of, blah, blah, blah. So I cannot open this last area, but I have opened, you start with the Great Forest for free. The Endless Desert, of course, you unlock by leveling up your gate. Each area essentially represents a faster, harder, more challenging version. You'll see more of that later. All right, so we've been through all the different areas. We know about recruiting mercs. We know about healing them. We know about powering up their weapons. I think it's time for us to go out on a raid and look at the game mechanics. So this game is very similar if you're a Vampire Survivors type fan. There'll be some similarities here, but there's also a lot of differences. So like all of these auto shooting games, you don't really get to aim. It does all of the aiming for you. Most of the weapons that are being used are auto aiming on the closest enemy, but there are exceptions. After you pick up enough of the little green dots, you'll be able to upgrade a skill. And obviously, like everybody else, I'll have favorites, you'll have favorites. But there's also this little thing called evolutions over here that if you get certain skills paired together, you get a bonus skill. So it's kind of cool to keep an eye on that. In my case, I'll probably go ahead and get that SMC, but you can re-roll by using that red button at the bottom. Nimble is something good to have early on if you'd like to survive. Obviously, upgrading your primary weapon. Getting things that are distance weapons or ranged weapons are good. So there's two ways to play these levels, these raids, either to advance your character or to gather parts. Now those little crates right there have to be shot. You can't just run over them, and sometimes that's harder to do than you think. Inside you'll find things like food and whatever. And again, constantly upgrading your skills is the key here. Now there's a bonus weapon that you don't always see. This gives you like this little floating mini chain gun thing, and it's fantastic. Other ones will cause all of the green dots to magnetically pull towards you. One of them will do a massive freezing effect. There's all sorts of different ones. So Killer Instinct is one I use a lot because it boosts your overall damage. This is one of my favorites, especially when you're in the beginning, and you're going to get that little bonus there for evolutions, which is great. So I will probably go ahead and grab that. Now again, Nimble's really good. The grenade launchers are really good. Anything that can keep you alive for any period of time are excellent. Now where this game varies from other Vampire Survivors is you get a chance to exfil. Right? So every couple of minutes a helicopter will come and give you an opportunity to get out. Or you could take your chances and stay inside. Just remember, this does have permadeath. So if you've been leveling up that survivor or that tank or that brawler and he dies out here, he gone. He's a gone, done deal. And if you try to quit the round early because it's not going your way, you will also lose your merc. So good things to know there. Now, there are things to collect other than that. For example, if you kill that boss right there, there's a chance he will drop a chest. And we always like to have chests drop because there's always goodies in there. You get these random waves, attack waves, like down there in the bottom right. Here's our exfil number. We have 26 seconds until exfil. We've been on the level for 1 minute 34 seconds, and we've got 500 kills racked up at this point. So do you leave or do you stay? Should I stay or should I go? The truth is, it varies from game to game. Oh, there's that chest I was talking about. Let's talk about that real quick and then we'll get back to it. So all of these green things, of course, are pick up for your skill. Oh, here's our chest. Perfect. And sometimes you can get like 4 items out of here, depending on your luck level. In this case, I only got 1, which is a standard weapon upgrade. So do you leave? You leave if you've had a round of bad luck. Maybe you've got a new soldier, a new merc that doesn't really have the skills to survive another wave, another level. So you got to get him out as soon as the helicopter comes. In this case, I'm doing okay. I'm keeping the monsters at bay. I got a good rhythm going here, so evacuation probably isn't necessary. You got to go find the helicopter. Oh, hey, there's one of those pickups that suck all the green things to you. So you'll have an opportunity to see me ramp up several skills here as the green dots flow like wine. But I am heading towards the helicopter. That way I at least have the choice if I want to leave once I get there. Along the way, of course, I'm going to be looking for pickups to increase my skills, just in case I want to stay. I have actually had 3 or 4 seconds on the exfil timer where I've picked up Nimble or something, and I said, you know what? I can go another one. I can go another one thanks to that last pickup, that last power-up. You can see I'm being a little greedy here, counting down the timer, trying to earn a little bit more here. But once that timer runs out, the helicopter goes, and you have to wait for the next exfil, which is in about 1 minute, 20 seconds or so. See, I feel like I'm in good shape, so I skipped the chopper for this time. I've got this drone, I'm throwing grenades, I've got my primary gun, I'm sucking these little green guys up like popcorn. It's fantastic. I've got a good run here. I don't want to cancel it just yet. And that's kind of nice, right? Sometimes you don't want to sit and play for 35 minutes straight. And let's be honest, with a lot of these Vampire Survivor games, the first 20 minutes are a snooze fest. At about 22 minutes in, all of a sudden the game gets interesting. If your game is not interesting and you're not getting the right power-ups and you're just getting unlucky, or, you know, you got to go to dinner or whatever, you got to get out, you can do that like every couple of minutes. To me, that changes the way things work. I'm no longer obligated to sit for 35 minutes straight. I can play for 2 or 3 minutes, get some goodies, and get out. You can see I've got mortar strikes going on. I've got the drone kicking butt. I'm doing pretty well. Now, you can also notice that the enemies are becoming different, right? I call these the Men in Black guys. They look like they have little suits on. They're a little bit harder to kill. So they're a good indication to how is your weapon doing now. Just before the exfil comes, you're going to get a taste of what the next monsters look like. See, look at those blue guys. Those blue guys are even harder to kill. Is my weapon taking them down quickly? Yeah, it kind of is. I could probably get away with going another round. Not that you would want to sit here and watch that, of course. It's more fun to play than to watch, I must say. But this gives you sort of a taste, a preview of what's going to happen to you if you don't go for the evacuation. So let's go ahead and get out of here, because you don't want to see me play this the whole time. So this is where you'll get awarded. Like, for example, if you finish a challenge, you'll see it here. Most of the time, if you're going to get an achievement from Steam, you're going to have it pop up here. Here's all the goodies you collected, bosses killed. Yeah, I mean, and that's sort of the first part of the loop. You jump in, you play. We're going to come back. The game loop takes us to probably the infirmary or to assign your skill points. So that's the loop. You play, you upgrade, you heal, you head back out. And upgrading could be your armor, your weapons, your character skills in the gym. It could be a number of different types of things. Healing, removing bad mutations, if you happen to get any, which I still don't. But that's the cycle. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot more fun than pretty much any other auto shooter Vampire Survivors game I've ever played. But you're probably here to see how she looks on Steam Deck, so let's go check it out. So here on Steam Deck, I have a game in progress. I think what most people care about here is how far can I go before the game drags to a crawl, right? Because that's how these games work. As you're playing it, you get so many guys and enemies on the screen, so many weapons flying all over the place that, you know, frankly, the game can't keep up anymore and it becomes a snooze fest. So The nice thing about this is we're going to play this probably several more minutes. So we're going to get through, I think, 3 exfils in this video. So this is a lot. And I'm picking up as many disparate weapons as humanly possible. Right? So I've got not only ranged weapons, but I've got weapons that rotate around me. I've got a weapon that's in a circle around me. Plus you've got all of these levels of guys coming. You can see I've killed like 2,200 guys so far. So I'm 4.5 minutes into the game, and it's holding up like a champ. Look at this. When the random waves come flying off the screen, like those right there, sometimes you'll see an FPS hit, like almost like a loading hit. But for the most part, it's great. Now, you'll see by the end of this video, you'll get an opportunity to see where the biggest slowdowns are that I've seen so far, and that'll be around an exfil location where the guys are just hounding you, just pounding you. Now, you'll notice, too, that as I'm playing, there are a couple of different strategies. If you're familiar with Vampire Slayers, and you know what I'm talking, or Vampire Survivors, you know what I'm talking about. So one methodology is to work in a circle, right? So you run around in a circle, killing guys, keeping a very tight footprint so that you can gather up as many of the skill enhancement orbs as humanly possible. Of course, the problem with that is you're not getting out and picking up resources. The other way you can do that is to do the double back method. So, run in one direction, killing all the guys behind you, and they're covering up all the good green stuff, right? And so then you'll circle around slowly in a big giant loop, and you'll come back around, and you'll pick up all those guys when the bad guys are chasing you. So it depends, again, how you decide you want to play that particular raid. I'm going out for resources. If you go out for resources, you're going to have to cover a lot of ground, and that means you're probably not going to upgrade your weapons, and you're not going to be staying out and running around a whole lot, right? You're going to get in, exfil out the first couple of waves, and call it a day. If you're in there to rank up your guy, you're going to want to stay in here as long as humanly possible. Gather as much as you can. And don't forget, there are challenges in the HQ to unlock new weapons. So you're going to constantly be shifting between characters, tank, brawler, whatever. You're going to be doing different things to meet those different achievement requirements so that you can unlock all the cool next level gear. And that, again, it all has to do, this game has greed in it, right? Do I stay or do I go? Am I going to run through that mess of bad guys hoping that this shield's going to protect me? What can I do? How should I do it? This is not one of those chill Vampire Survivor games where you just sit and, run your thumb over the controller for an inordinate amount of time until you finally lose, or until the game finally gets interesting, right? I think that they've leveled this just right. And when you go to the next zone, the graphics change, and instead of getting the first wave of enemies, you're going to be getting like the third wave of enemies. So instead of starting with the easy guys, you start with like the third wave of bad guys. So you're not going to want to take the new recruits into the desert. You're going to want to take one of your seasoned guys in there, and you're going to want to kind of get a new feel for how long it takes you to ramp those weapons up, how long it takes you to get enough power-ups to survive more than one exfil. I really like this game. I think it's like one of the best $5 you can spend. Steam Deck compatible and actually friendly. I'm just a huge fan, and this is totally out of band for me. So I figured if it's this exciting to me, I bet some of my viewers would like to get in on it. And yeah. All right, so we're going to take this exfil and get out of here. This is going to be kind of like the worst it gets, right? I'm 8 minutes in, and 5 hours of gameplay to get to where I'm comfortable 8 minutes in. And you can see the frame rate is holding pretty good. The frame pacing is holding pretty good. It's going into the low 50s, but it's not something that's going to cripple the gameplay. and we are going to take the train and get out of Dodge. Hey, listen, if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, hit the bell. You know what to do. We're trying to go for 10,000 subscribers, and you can be part of that magic. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take care, everybody.